세러데이 쇼다운. 하나생명 e스포츠 대 KT 롤스터.
That makes you think, what will be left open, what will be available for that first pick, and what will HLE be banning now? They obviously went pretty heavy on the mid lanes, but that's usually a second pick sort of banning situation. Jace will be banned by Genji here. And picks like Orianna, Cassiopeia, Vi, often banned. It will be the
So you want to play
Galio
lock?
banned by HLE. Yeah, suggest they want to go for the lock. We have just seen generally Galio banned a lot into Chovy, but specifically it's been used as a lock counter. And Zeka would love to get 18 kills on it. And Genji straying away from the mid lane focus on bans here. There's still Vi open. There's still Cassiopeia and Orianna. So it could end up being a tricky one for HLE. Do you ban one of the mid laners and kind of force Genji to ban the others? Do you leave everything open and then you try and first pick Vi? They banned the Camille. Zoro won't get a chance to play that.
There are so many strong picks left. I mean, Cassio, Orianna, the two big ones. Vi.
And also the Nocturne didn't get a look in last time around. So you could pick Orianna here, and then would Genji just have to go Nocturne as a denial? Because Ori Nocturne's so strong that it kind of warrants denying it. And I think that's going to be the pick of HLE is the Orianna. Chovy obviously can go the Cassiopeia, but I think denying the Nocturne is going to be a big thing you need to do. I can't even remember the last time we had Orianna Nocturne being able to be picked in the same time. So frequently are both picks banned in the first rotation, and definitely at least one of them with that being Orianna.
Yeah. I mean, Kenyon's a great Nocturne player. I think it makes sense to pick Nocturne and then take something that would make sense with that.
You could even, you know, we've seen, it would depend on the draft and how things pan out and how confident you feel, but we've seen like Nocturne Lulu be really strong.
Yeah.
So it obviously puts a lot of emphasis on that pick, but I think picking Lulu now could be a bit preemptive. Instead, they're going to go for the Shen. Nocturne Shen, a really strong combo, the double global aspect, able to play around sides quite effectively. And now HLE, you have your mid laner who can be a little bit vulnerable to dive pressure. Ideally, you want an AD carry who can be safe. Corki is definitely one of the safe AD carries with that Valkyrie being available. And I think it makes sense to prioritize this early, especially because Caitlyn Jhin are already out the equation. But it ends up being the Alistar for Delight first and foremost.
Yeah, I mean, when it's Shen face up, I mean, Shen could still be top lane, though.
You know what? That'd be a crazy angle if they put the Shen into top lane and they went a bot lane with Lulu, so they had the Nocturne Lulu and then could just dominate bot lane. I think HLE really has to look out for that.
Yeah.
Because they've picked the Alistar already. So I think Genji, you just take mid here, don't show anything, and then save the potential to pick a really strong bot lane 2v2. Alternatively, they could just pick AD carry if they want to save solo lanes. But I really like the prospect of playing Shen top, which they've done before with Keen. And if they...
Or just pick Lulu.
If they,
before it gets
yeah, I like this. No. I like the Cassiopeia coming in. You know, Chovy's confident on the pick. And now, if I'm HLE, I'm actually just... Even though it's second pick for Genji, so there's the threat of Keen counter pick, I'm just way more concerned about them picking a strong bot lane combo. They could honestly go the Cog Lulu here. They could just pick that up. They could go... I mean, Lulu plus basically anything would be good. They could also go Calista Renata.
Yeah.
They have a lot of options.
I think you really want to flex that Shen.
Yeah.
For sure. It should be on their mind. They are going to ban Ezreal first, though.
The Neferi ban, it's pretty good. Neferi, a good delivery system when Nocturne and Jarvan have already been taken away. Vi as well, so less available. I think Xin Zhao could be on the cards for HLE if we're sort of moving down tone pole. And that will be banned.
Yeah. They got their tier list out.
I feel like, I mean, the problem is the Lulu could be a problem, but I would honestly just not be against just banning maybe Renata at 2. Renata or Lulu I feel like are good bans.
Well, you can't ban both of them.
Yeah.
So it feels kind of rough.
But they could, I mean, they could just end up not flexing the Shen at all, and it would just not get the value. They end up banning a TF, so limiting Keen's tools.
Yeah, maybe they want to play some Gnar. But I feel like it would be a missed opportunity to not flex it here.
The question is there an AD carry you can pick here where you don't reveal the flex? Because if you pick Kog'Maw, it's obvious.
Yunara solo is also like,
I mean, you could go Yunara Shen.
What
It's not
did they
like doesn't make
mean?
the most sense, but it keeps the threat of the counter pick from Keen.
Seraphine. So Ash Seraphine is probably going to be the call here
Yeah.
with the flex. So
But they can still flex it. They can have Seraphine Shen is not a traditional lane, but it would
true.
you could just play it. So I think it keeps the options open.
There
And
are-
now
yeah.
it's a tricky situation because if you pick something to counter Shen, you might just get counterpicked into Oblivion. If you, yeah, you could
He's
just end
playing
up in a
Gnar.
tricky spot.
Yeah.
I think you could just send the Shen top, to be honest, in this situation.
Yeah, I mean, Olaf is banned, and so is Vayne. So that's a couple of decent answers into the Gnar already taken away. If you wanted to try to counterpick the Gnar,
Jungle just going to be Pantheon? Oh, the Shyvana again. This did not work well the last time, I'm just going to say it.
just play Pantheon.
I'm ready.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
I was ready, you know, take it to the swing. Maybe it's a tradition of the HLE junglers to slam Shyvana. And we end up getting the Ambessa comes through. So Keen feeling confident in that matchup. They end up going for the Seraphine Shen in the bot lane. Ambessa provides the AD. You have like the triple bruiser topside. Cassiopeia being an AP bruiser. And then everyone's just going to, you know, the top and jungle are going to dive in with the Channel on top. You have the Encore to fly through. I really like the Genji composition. I like that they kept the Shen flex alive until the very last pick.
Yeah.
And then still enabled Keen to get counter pick. I thought that was really cool. I do think HLE's composition, though, you know, they have Orianna, they have Alistar for the delivery system, Pantheon with early pressure, Corki's going to scale pretty well. It's not like HLE's composition is just completely losing, but I just think the approach that we saw here from Genji was super cool.
Yeah, no, it was great. I think I personally would have preferred if they just went for Cog Lulu, even if it was a little bit obvious, because, like, with HLE's comp, how do you punish that? I just don't understand how they would deal with it at all.
I think the concern would more be you're then just, like, laying up this to have counter pick for sure into a Shen. So I can understand them not doing it, but I also get your point about it would just be very powerful there.
They had a lot of options, and they gave themselves a lot of options. So I think that was really cool to watch during that draft, as it looks like we're ready. Let's hop on the riff for game number 2.
미니언들이 생성되었습니다.
All right, here we go, game number 2. Hoping for a game number 3 just to fill out our sheet here full of games.
Maximum value achieved. I will say, we saw Genji kind of rise up in terms of form when we went back to AD carries bot lane. And here's Ruler on the Seraphine. And as much as he had some mage play, which is fine, it definitely feels like when he's back on AD carries, he's more comfortable. So we'll have to see how this game goes for him.
Yeah,
Cleanse
also
picked up for Guma is a phenomenal summoner take.
Yeah, I think sometimes HLE, they get themselves into spots and drafts where it's like, oh, I don't know. It feels like their opponents might have the edge here, or we're not a big fan of their draft. This time, I think, you know, HLE's draft is fine. And I feel like sometimes they just don't care what the draft was. They're like, no, we're just going to outplay you.
I'll say,
We don't care.
I'm glad they didn't pick the Shyvana. You know, it needs some
That helps,
needs some
yeah.
time to cook.
Yeah.
And with having the Pantheon into the Nocturne, you have more early pressure to get the ball rolling. Now, bot lane, you're into an Alistar. Also, Seraphine has a lot of pushing power. I'm also seeing mid right now be in favor of Chovy in terms of the priority. It's only really top 4 HLE, where Zeus having the range advantage of the Ambessa is putting the hurt down. And I think we've talked to death about Ambessa and her level 6 and her Eclipse spikes.
Yeah.
But look forward to those later.
You know, it's a real shame that we had both Vayne and Olaf Fearless banned, because Ambessa is good in Tanar, but it's not like a hard counter, so could have been even a more fun final counter pick for Keen.
Has got the Electrocute to just completely explode the mini Gnar.
Yeah.
The opportunity arises. And I think what we've kind of seen since they nerfed the cast time on Ambessa's ult, you can't just freeball it anymore.
Yeah.
You can't just throw it out. Even like normal movement speed champions can dodge it if they're like aware and in a position to. But this composition has a lot of setup for it, which I think is the important thing. To try and make sure that once the CC is down, you have a guaranteed hit. Do you see some invades coming in here? Canyon looking for Kanavi. Ooh,
wow.
Good flash from Kanavi there.
Yeah. As the last person to play this was actually Guma, the bot Seraphine. Ruler takes a bunch of damage, but not really in kill range.
Wait, Ruler's going to be caught out here.
Yeah, we got a TP coming in, and now the Pantheon. He's just going to flash over the wall, actually. He does get away, as now straight onto the Miasma comes Zeka, and he just dies. So actually, it's Gen G who get the collapse in the first blood.
Able to find a new target and switch away. Ruler's flash to get away from Kanavi was vital. And honestly, the fact that Kanavi didn't have flasher, I think Ruler was just dead.
Yeah.
A lot of little things making the difference, but first blood for Gen G, and they get to TP back into lane. Pick up this wave. Now, there is some people there looking to respond.
You can see Ruler's trying to get some damage down on that wave.
Ken's close, but not close enough.
Yeah, there's no flash for our Seraphine right now. As there's the very simple dive, so nice follow-up here from HLE to make that work.
You know, it's hindsighty to say, but the timing was just a bit off, and I think Ruler could have just held the TP for Shen to be there, but then at that point, you could have just walked with him. I think walking with him probably makes the most sense. But again, that's hindsighting on what happened. Ultimately, it was a good setup from HLE to immediately punish the open back up onto the map. And without Flash, even with Flash, I think Ruler's just extremely dead.
Yeah. It's just the way it goes. That's also part of the power of the Pantheon that I think we probably wouldn't have seen if a Shyvana... I mean, I guess in that scenario, probably Shyvana would have also been fine, but Pantheon does make those ganks just a bit easier with his point-and-click stun.
The thing is, after that skirmish in the bot side river, Canyon immediately went to farming, and I believe picked up some camps in Kanavi's topside jungle.
Yeah, he took the Raptors.
And has just been clearing through since, so he has a sizable lead in terms of experience and camps. He's almost level 6, and Kanavi about the same distance, just to level 5. Both of these junglers able to have a big impact on the back of their ultimates, but Nocturne the one who's more reliant on having it.
All right, they're going to find Duro, who is just going to taunt over the wall. He will be okay.
One of the nice things with Shen to Alistar is when he combos you, you can then use your Shroud, so you can't use the Empowered Auto. They're able to walk that one off. Ruler just playing the defensive game here on the Seraphine. And we're just happy to have full control of the lane for the moment.
Yeah.
There's level 6 for Canyon. Flashes are up
lane
for both of them bot lane. And with Guma having cleanse, it kind of has to be Delight. There we go.
Well, they're going to land the root and not commit to it just yet. I guess maybe trying to bait a little bit with Duro's health bar, try to get them closer. In for the commit, and there it is, as now the flash comes out. But guess who's here as well? It's Kanavi. And so that first paranoia, really not going to get anything, as Delight, I guess, had the flash, and that's about it.
The fact that you have the XP advantage, you get the level 6 first, you really want to get value out of it. You want to make a play happen, it to be successful. And it's just a great read from HLE. The initial engage came through from Duro, and they just like, yeah, what are you going to do? And the answer was not much. Turret was more of a threat to Kuma there than the Nocturne was.
Yeah.
And it does mean Dragon for Kanavi going to be picked up here. With no contest coming out.
Yeah, relatively early Drake, as it's at about 6.5 minutes that they should take this one down. At the same time, I mean, Genji, you know, it's still pretty even on gold. Guma does have a nice lead himself, but you already mentioned Canyon is going to have the farm lead. I'm just not sure how much that matters if he is not going to get value out of his paranoias. I mean, later on in the game, they're just going to have a big bruiser ball with Nocturne kind of leading the charge with the Shen. And that's essentially Canyon's job, to just, ult in, get the Shen in there. And then, if he's tanky and does a little bit of damage, that's cool too.
That'd be nice. We do see Chovy walking past the turret there to try and help with that invade, but they won't find anything more than the rafters. It's just continuing that lead that Canyon has, but as you said, not necessarily going to mean anything unless it's translated. We have Hextech, then Cloud. So kind of a toss-up if the soul is useful.
Yeah. I would say that Chemtech is really good for Genji.
Yes.
Really, really strong. It's not every game you get that, but this time, absolutely.
Kind of crazy value. I wonder if we get a Serpent's Fang this game. We've seen more and more pop up. I feel like Corki or Pantheon could build one. And there's a lot of shielding on the side of Genji. Like a lot of shielding.
Yeah. Just feels like for junglers like Pantheon nowadays, it's like Thunder Sky, Black Cleaver, GA.
Yeah.
Like that's the build.
A little
like,
awkward to fit in.
Oh, just gonna cast it at the Corki. I guess that's enough. As he was walking in a straight line, did not expect that. As here comes Canyon, the knockback is there, but Chovy with the flash in does not catch them at all. As now Zeka, nice look away, just trying to hold on to his flash for as long as possible, and he will get away.
Very aggressive play there from Chovy, trying to back Canyon up, and they do force them away. Won't find any kills. Grubs will be secured though, should be 3 for Genji, and now Pantheon with the flash.
Yeah, and there's the shockwave as well. Chovy in a bunch of trouble, but he's trying to trade it back as the Aegis, and he's just running around in circles trying to survive, but he will eventually go down.
That was way closer than I thought it'd be, and now they're looking for Kanavi.
Yeah, Kanavi in a lot of trouble. Keen going big on the Ambessa so far in this game.
So Chovy buying time, getting some damage down, actually results in a kill back thanks to Keen's roam up. And kills for this Ambessa is not a good time for anyone on HLE, especially since it's going to be an Ambessa bolstered by the shielding and CC of the bot lane. So you see this play here. They're like, Chovy's got an angle round, we can go in. But the retreat from HLE, from the support at jungle is a good angle. Here, Zek is trying to hold the flash, but Cassiopeia DPS is just so insane. And speaking of that insane DPS, we have in this moment Chovy doing his best to turn this around, dodging this tap Q here, which it does so much damage that it's pretty big that he dodged that away. But Kanavi comes in, and even Duro taunted Delight to stop him from being able to provide any CC.
Yeah. Kanavi, unfortunately for his sake, he could have just walked away afterwards.
Poisons lands, but Zeka will scare them off.
Yeah.
Delight with no flash, it's up now. No flash, no ult. A little bit spooky. Oh, the buffer!
The buffer is so obvious. He is not respecting that. And yeah, I mean, Keen just looks unstoppable in this game. It's kind of insane how much of an impact he's already had on this Ambessa.
He's in such a good position. Level 9, he's got the stats from his ult, he's got Eclipse, he's got his Q-Max. He's just thriving right now in this matchup. And Zeus and Mega feels confident, feels like I need to ult, get some momentum in the lane. And it ends up backfiring massively.
All right, trying to make a play here on a Zek who doesn't have his flash as the fear will come in, and Canyon tanky enough to just spell shield that one and get the kill. Nicely done.
Good spell shield. They knew Zeka had no flash, and just the confidence to go for that play when it's a short lane. Zeka was not really overextended, but like, we'll make it work. We will make this work, and even just knowing that I will spell shield the shockwave so I won't die. Takes confidence to make plays like these, but it's good to see Canyon leading the charge there.
Yeah, certainly helps that we had such a crazy, aggressive play from Chovy earlier, just getting a lot of flashes, getting a lot of summoners burned, and then you can just follow up very nicely.
Cassiopeia Nocturne isn't the typical combo you expect to see, but Chovy and Canyon, the double C duo, are definitely making it work so far in this game. It's a 1,400 gold lead, not the craziest amount, but we'll see this play again. And if you look at how low Canyon ends up getting, because Zek is clearly like, I'll get to the tower, I'll shockwave, but the spell shield comes in, and if you look how low he gets, he would have just died.
아니 이게 죽는다고?
I die to this.
공만 쳤어, 공만.
That's kind of how I felt, honestly.
Basically,
It didn't seem like a play
How do I die to this?
that you'd expect to die on, but it worked. So credit to Gen G for leading the charge. Oh,
Uh-oh. He's okay.
still had cleanse and pocket.
Yeah. Just going to get away with this one as now the double taunt is going to come in and a big Seraphine ult over the top catches 3. And just like that, they easily clean up. This is exactly what this comp wants to do and easily run right into it.
Absolute decimation. And I love the coordination. You know, Gen G's team fighting is something that for years we've praised so heavily. But it felt like this is really when they're just firing on all cylinders. This is the sort of level of play we really talk about. The timing, I think, is the flawless thing, because as soon as we see Duro go in here, the ult's already being buffered by Keen. And then the Seraphine ult comes on top, hits 3, and Keen's just running rampant. There was just no real time to respond in terms of HLE, and it's a dominant teamfight win.
A lot of emoting from Canyon, who, you know, I mentioned before, he's kind of like, he is the vessel for the Shen to go in on, but he's already had a big impact in this one, as now Kanavi, maybe a bit of frustration, just doing Kanavi things.
That was so funny, because Duro killed a ward, and they placed another, and then Duro started killing him, so they both jumped him.
Yeah.
And then Duro was just like, okay, we'll just kill you, that's fine. Keen is fishing.
This keeps happening where Guma's being forced to lane against Keen, and it's just not a fun time.
No,
like,
not at all.
Last time it was Jin and Olaf, and now it's, I mean, Corki is a little bit better, obviously, but Mbessa's very scary, especially right now. And
Especially with how
hasn't
good this
bought?
Mbessa is.
I feel like he hasn't bought, right? He still just has Eclipse and like a longsword. I think he's going to get a second item, or at least close to it. I think it's too early for a second item, yeah.
Yeah, he got the plated steel caps.
Yeah, true.
That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And a tunneler,
And a tunneler,
in case he
yeah.
wants to go underground.
Yeah, he's very accelerated already.
Why don't we have a mole champion? You know, like we have Rek'Sai.
Yeah, I never thought about
goes underground. But
that.
wouldn't it be cool to have a little mole champion?
I think it's a pretty good idea.
I'm pitching it now.
Well, we already have like a tunneler, like you mentioned, in Rek'Sai, so I don't know.
And Rek'Sai does build tunneler a lot.
It might be a little bit of overlap.
Bit of overlap.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
But at this point, like, how many new ideas? Like, we were talking about this before, but like, how many new ideas are you gonna get? Maybe it's time to start overlapping.
Maybe.
The Light's trying to set something up with Kanavi and bot.
There's a problem with that. Perhaps there's the fact there's a ward in that brush, and it's set. Oh, Zeka has flash.
The second they see the both of them, it's like, well, we just dive Zeka, and what does he do? I mean, I guess maybe he can run. No, he's just gonna go in.
Okay.
There's the flash.
Flash is out, yeah, gets away. Keen, meanwhile, okay.
All right, they're trying to commit to this, but now the Shen comes in, and he is going to buffer straight onto the Alistair, as that is a nice gnar into the wall, but not a lot of damage to come through. Finally, this Shockwave helps a bit, but still no kills, as finally they take out Duro, but a lot committed to get that one kill onto the support.
I'm both amazed that no one from HLE died, but also that it took so... Oh, they're going again.
Oh, boy. Yeah, and now Keen maybe is in a bit of trouble, as just too much of an overload down in the bottom side of the map. And Chovy's like, yeah, this is great. I'm just farming top by myself.
A new challenger approaches and takes. Doesn't even get the big Krug, actually. Well,
interesting.
a good play from HLE. I think just bringing that much beef, not specifically the Alistair, but so many bulky champions to the dive helped a lot. But it did look pretty precarious.
So much thickness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in the end, able to get 2 kills off the back of that. Shut down from Keen as well. Plays like that, definitely how you want to get back into this game. We were hoping for the full 6-game day, and Gen G on the road right now to denying that.
Yeah, I think it's a big issue when this comp is ahead, and they literally can just death ball, and you don't really have good recourse.
Gen G always the death ball team.
Yeah.
Super tight as a unit.
I feel like this comp doesn't even take all that much finesse either. It's kind of just like,
A lot of go
especially
buttons.
from ahead. Like if they're
Yeah.
behind, obviously setting up the plays is the hard part. But if you're ahead, it's like, okay, you know, Shen's going to engage or Nocturne's going to engage. And
or Cassiopeia is going to Rocket Belt in and engage.
Yeah. And then the follow-up is the easy part, right? Like, if you get the engage in, Seraphine ult over the top, Mbessa ult over the top, Chovy DPS, Miasma on top of that stun target, like...
It's like if one hits, we all hit.
Yeah. So, from ahead, it's just
But
it's very
again,
impressive.
HLE are punishing these side lanes.
Yeah, this is what they did so well at Kespa Cup is now 4 people on top of Keen. He is the Fed member as Zeka tanking it up as the turret shots are doing so much here. As another one comes in, they try to go into mid, but Guma gets away.
Yeah, that definitely deserves the Yumi emote there. Not a good response from Gen G. I mean, they get value because of the Herald. They're getting value in 2 lanes. They're going to get Dragon. But HLE just keep getting away with these plays, and it's not a fantastic feeling considering the advantage that Gen G had in this game.
Well, they're going to get the Ocean Break. It's not Chemtech, but here's the dive once again.
So, in terms of what's taken on the map, Gen G still got a ton. But they were going to get that anyway, and I think the fact that HLE are able to make these trades while being so far down is a little worrying. We then see in the mid play, we don't get to see it again, but it was a little flash into the wall, not over the wall. You learn from Chronicler. But they still got bot tier 1, mid tier 1. They got a bunch of plates mid. So like the gold is still 4,000 ahead. But not exactly how they wanted the entire passage of play to go. Interesting to note that no flash on Zeka or Guma right now. So definitely can be viable targets. That being said, Cleanse is there for Guma. Zeka's not far away from flash. See what they can do. Rylai's has been picked up by Ruler. So the E now just roots immediately.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good for catching people out, catching people off guard because it's so long ranged, quite fast. And I guess the thought process is you hit that, then everything hits in this composition.
Yeah, or at least, you know, forces a cleanse and, you know, maybe then the Shen can engage or something like that. So just adding more ways, more factors to find picks and find engages. And I think Genji are doing a good job as well of just controlling space at this point in time. They got that Drake and then just immediately everybody's on the bottom side of the map here, taking the jungle away, pressuring the lanes. They are going to flash on a Chovy who just flashes away. But now we got a TP coming in. Keen has not gone for the TP just yet. Now he's going to go for it. And there is a massive gaze on a 2 as the Gnar goes down and the peel is there. And oh God, we got a raid boss behind you as the light's going to go down. Kanavi's out of position. He's going to go out. And the 2 carries get away, but Gen G are running away with this game.
3 caught in the gaze for Chovy, and he gets 3 kills as well with the triple. Keen going to get the tower, but the rest of the team are going straight to that Baron just as it spawns as well. I see the rest of the team. Guys, this may be a little less members than you need. Thankfully, Keen and Turo.
So he's like, I'm busy. I got a farm. I need more minions.
Yeah. Baron's global, so why does he need to be there?
Well,
this is Delight.
yeah. Does he just die if he gets hit by poison?
No,
I guess he's just not going to get hit by poison anyway. Yeah, Chovy not in the best spot. Now he gets hit by poison. He's ticking down a little bit, but he's fine.
They're able to take him out, and his Baron's taken away, so another Rylai's. We'll see this play here. So it's a great flash. And then I think this taunt from Duro is phenomenal, because as soon as the Mega Gnar arrives, the CC's there, then the Petrifying Gaze comes through, the Encore on top. Just everyone doing their job here.
Yeah, it's really solid play. Handles the pressure. Gives a good nice at the end. That's what you like to see from a team player. He did then go bot and just die.
We didn't talk about that.
To teleport Alistair. But, you know, it's okay.
I mean, he's so tanky now as well. I know I said the thing about, like, the Bruiser's top lane with the Seraphine, but he is actually just so bulky now.
Yeah.
With Rylai's, Rocket Belt, and Roa.
It's a build that's designed to handle Orianna Pantheon for sure. And, I mean, Cassiopeia always loves long fights where she can survive for a long time and just do DPS.
do think maybe the double Rylai's was a bit overkill, but you know what? Slow them down, why not? Oh, Pantheon coming in.
Yeah, coming on in, but the taunt is there. The disengage is here for now, but trying to chase down Juro. As there is the flash just to get away. 4 people trying to make this happen. Jovi's mid, or rather top, and Keen is mid. So you don't get the Shen this time, and you're losing quite a lot, but trying to make a play against Baron, against the flow of the play, has been the name of the game here for HLE.
So although it might seem like it's a bit unfortunate, a bit bad, pure Seraphine, the flash there, they have spent so much time bot lane, and they are losing so much on the map. They don't get the Shen, they stick around for Ruler, they get Ruler's flash, and in terms of setting up for the next fight, yeah, it's nice to take the bot lane's flash, but you lose so much of your base in terms of structures.
Yeah, it doesn't feel so great for the side of HLE. They're 7,000 gold behind. Now trying to find Chovy, who is just going to zone him away with the miasma and the gaze. And just trying to go for a little bit of a slower push after the fact with the last dregs of the Baron.
Even though you have Ruler and Duro's flashes, the Light and Kanavi don't have theirs, and they're like your primary engage. And also Dragon's up now, and Dragon is probably just going to get taken. I mean, HLE look like they want to contest it. I guess maybe they're banking on those flashes being down, but like that's the opportunity we needed. But I'm not sure it seems like that good of a spot. Chovy levels up to 16 with a Rod of Ages. Ruler has Imperial Mandate now, which is very good item on Seraphine.
Yeah.
The extra damage will be very appreciated. And obviously the E cooldown super low. Zeus does have his Mega nearly stacked up. They want to fight this, but Keen is wrapping round.
Yeah, trying to go for Keen once again is going to be the collapse, but I don't know about this. They're just corralled up against the wall, and now Gen.G are going in as a big Gnar to the wall, trying to peel here, but the Seraphine ults over the top gets 2, and guess who's still alive? It is Chovy, but trying to make a play here for Zeka, trying to just frontline for him to deal the damage, but they have not dealt with the Cassiopeia at all, as they finally do take down Keen there in the top lane. But Chovy is just on the back line killing everybody, as Zeka and Kanavi super low health. Chovy looking to get the kill on Azeus, as their allies will help net it. And it's only Chovy and Kanavi who are left.
I think it's only Chovy that they needed. He just ran down member after member of HLE. He was like a kid in a candy shop. He was just spoiled for choice in who to kill first. But this initial engage comes in, and Guma's just dead. There's just very little you can do, just clipped by the ult. And the thing is, it's so hard to dodge because of the darkness.
Yeah.
And then the ult from the Gnar, though, is massive. And that gives him a lot of momentum in the fight, but then the Petrifying Gaze comes through, and look at Chovy. He's just spamming Twin Fangs. No one has cooldowns left to deal with him. They're kind of like, let's just try and kill someone else and hope that he runs out of mana. That approach doesn't work. Zek is just dead. He does survive long enough to help out with Ruler, but it is just a messy fight. And in fairness, with how far ahead Gen.G was, that went pretty well overall for HLE, but they just never had the tools to deal with the Chovy problem. He now has a 10-stack Medjay's. He now has a Seeker's Arm Guard. He just got that much harder to deal with.
We're also just going to get a free Ocean Drake off of the back of that, so...
Ocean Soul, honestly, just to give Chovy infinite mana, and the sustain will be valuable in these long fights. It's not going to be bad at all, but they're not quite there yet. Will the game last to that point? That's the question. We've seen that HLE can find picks, and that was a competitive fight, if we're being honest, in the bot lane, considering the deficit, but
yeah,
can they handle Chovy? The answer currently seems to be no. Guma does pick up the Collector here, doesn't have to go for the Serpent's Fang third that we've sometimes seen, even though it obviously slows down your sort of crit progression, does obviously deal with a lot of the shields all over Gen.G.
Yeah, and Kanavi went for the jungle build, so we kind of knew he was going to follow the template.
Yeah, I think Kanavi needs a GA.
Yeah. And, yeah, I mean, it was really nice to see HLE kind of absorb the pressure. Alistair and Mega Gnar are very good at doing that, but it's still a lot. They're trying to go for Chovy once again, and this time, if they have enough tools, maybe they can. He goes golden, and the Stand United is there, but eventually 5 members of HLE make it happen, and they will actually kill the raid boss.
The thing is, what now for Gen.G? You've lost your most valuable member. Can you contest this Baron? They maintain the Encore and the public execution. And there's a lot of tools down for HLE, but Zeus has Mega. He's ready to rumble.
Yeah, I mean, they're just going to try to go into this one and poke them down, but a knock up here on a Duro And an Unbreakable will just to try to zone here from Delight. As eventually, they are getting a bit low. Canyon trying to go in for the steal as it's a big encore on a 4, but it does go on a Kanavi as Keen trying to go 1v5. The Torn is going to miss and Keen goes down. As now maybe Canyon can do something, but no, it's not enough. HLE, they get the Baron. Guma survives. It's a triple kill for him as HLE are in the game again.
And no matter how good the engage looks, the follow-through, the DPS just isn't there without Chovy. HLE handle it beautifully. And this engage from Delight, he's slowed down, gets taunted, and he sees the window, instantly punishes, and Chovy doesn't stasis early enough. Even with a Stand United, it just doesn't make a difference. He goes for the Petrifying Gaze, he's just dead. And this ensuing fight, look at the value that Gen G actually gets of these abilities. This Encore hits 4. Public Execution onto Zeka. And yet they still lose the fight because after that initial salvo, there's just nothing left in the tank. And the AD carries, the Gnar and the Corki just free hitting to finish things off.
Yeah, imagine if they had a Cassiopeia. I mean, obviously that fight doesn't happen if Cassiopeia is alive, but still.
It was also not the Huni Baron, it was Terry,
Yeah.
which is a lower damage Baron. But it does have that extra terrain, which I think helped with
It helped the Encore, yeah.
Encore, yeah.
Now they're just saying, okay, we want to fight on our terms. The flash comes in, there's the Nocturne, there it is. They do take down Zeka. It's a lot of the damage as an instant cleanse from Guma. They're trying to take him down. The stun for the peel from Zeus is massive. Keeps him alive in this fight, and Guma will live. They absorb the pressure once again. HLE are looking incredible now.
And they just, Gen G commit way too much onto Zeka, more than they needed to take him down, and let Guma be there to free hit. Let Zeus come in with a massive Mega Gnar. And now it's up to Ruler to thin the wave out, but with the Baron, this is so difficult. Double cannon minions there. I don't think the timer is there to end, but if Ruler gets caught out here,
Yeah,
he
Delight
will
was
step
looking
away.
for him. Kanavi has flash too, so you gotta be real careful.
with Zeka's TP coming up, I think if Ruler got caught out, it's risky. I don't think they'd end, but they could definitely do a lot more damage to the base. But if you look here, so they commit the ult initially, then we get a taunt, then we get Chovy, then we get the public execution. He's already dead. He was already dead before the public execution. They then don't have the answers for Guma, and Zeus comes in and slams Chovy. And in the meantime, Ruler's free hitting, but what does it actually mean? You're not cutting through these targets. It's not doing enough damage. You need the Cassiopeia alive, and honestly, I think there's builds for both Cassiopeia and Seraphine which do more damage, and they both went the Rylai's, they both went utility. And it wasn't a problem before when you were that far ahead, but it's starting to feel like a bit of a problem that you're just not cutting through the bulk quick enough.
Yeah, it looks like, you know, after Guma cleansed, we saw Chovy throw in like 2 or 3 Twin Fangs into him, but I think the poison just wasn't ticking because the Fangs were not dealing the damage that they needed to.
That's the thing, is we're talking about how if Chovy's dead, they lose all this damage. If Chovy misses a Q, think how much the DPS actually drops for Gen G. It's such a high burden of execution champion, and so much rests on Chovy's shoulders in this game. Keen also not really able to get the value there. I think the public execution was significantly overkill. EP coming in there, setting up this Dragon. Ocean Soul, I do think would do some favors to Gen G. I don't think it drastically changed the state of the game, but extra value would be appreciated. EP coming in from Keen, and Zeka to follow.
You're going to try for it, but if you're Gen G, you do not have to overcommit for it. They are going to look for the play, actually, on Akeen, who just tanks all the damage. The follow-up's not there, and now they get on the backline. The Encore hits 3!
They get Guma!
They got him this time! They finally did it! But can they end the fight is really the real question. As Zeka's out of it, and it looks like they should be able to. They also got the Ocean Soul, and the dreams of HLE are dashed on the rocks as Gen G just looking for the push now in mid.
Only Zeka to defend. I don't think it's enough. I think this is going to be game. Gen G find the engage. Managed to turn things around. Kanavi connected only onto the Ambassador. Couldn't catch the Seraphine. And then they catch Guma. Now they got Zeka.
Yeah, he had to step up to try to clear the wave. He is going to live for now. I spoke too soon. He is so dead. As Chovy gets in there, with the flash and the ghost, and they will end it. Gen G, big scare up against HLE, who nearly took that game away from them. But Gen G eventually will be the victors and will deny us a game 3 with their 2-0. The fact that the game lived and died by him for both of them.
Rula happy just to sit back
When
and
they
play.
lost in this last fight.
And this is the last fight. So Shockwave misses Rula, only hits Keen, who doesn't really care about the damage, and then that encore.
They were just screaming Corky because
That was Rula just shouting like,
yeah.
go, 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 go.
Second he gets hit by that, you know, the follow-up, the line ults with Seraphine and Mbessa.
Also just the paranoia on top of the line ults.
Yeah.
Because it looks like
You can't see anything.
it looks like you can criticize HLE for like not moving out the way, but it's like you can't actually see it coming until it's almost on top of you.
We can see it, but they
Yeah, from the observer, from the fan view point of view, it looks so different to like their point of view where everything just turns dark and suddenly you're dancing with your teammates.
You can see a lot of relief. And they're talking about, you know, like what they should have done better and stuff. Like we should have backed, we should have done this and that. But like, yeah, very, very close one at the end of the day. Kanavi with 30k damage.
I don't think anyone could have watched that entire game and thought, yeah, Kanavi did more damage than Chovy, but I guess he did.
Pantheon does slap sometimes.
He does. He got stuck in there. Wasn't quite enough, but a crazy game. The goal graph does tell a lot of the story. But the POM, it's a no-brainer. It is going to be Chovy. 1,000 POM points now. You know, I was actually talking about this last week. I was like, is this the time where we see a Rise Group player get #1 in POMs? Is it where we see
Silly Ox,
Is it where we
man.
see
You should've known.
Chovy not finish #1? The answer is no. The answer is no. Chovy has a very healthy lead.
It is possible for a tie to happen. Teu needs to get POM in every single one. By the way, props to you and Atlas and Umpty and Huni.
Wow.
You did go for this. I actually, this entire...